Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Simply Finance TV. This is Marielle from Simply Finance. Today, we have another special guest. She is a celebrity that has transitioned into becoming an entrepreneur, and today she will share with us her personal finance journey as well as her mindful approach to life. So, hi, Bianca. Welcome
Hi,
to the
Marielle.
show.
Thank
Well,
you. Perfect intro.
thanks for doing this. Yeah,
Anytime.
before anything, how are you? I mean, you're in Australia now, so how's life there?
Life is great here. Life is super normal, and I feel very fortunate to have ended up here. It wasn't my intention to actually live here. So I arrived shortly before the borders closed, and I ended up staying because every time I would ask my friends, okay, is it time for me to come home? They're like, wag ka umuwi. Don't come back. Lucky to have gotten stuck in a country that is organized and is practically COVID-free.
I know, you're so lucky. But when I see your stories, everything's back to normal. So since this is Simply Finance TV, I guess I just want to touch on first about your personal finance journey from when you started working in showbiz. I think you were a teenager when you started, right?
I was 18 when I entered when I started acting, but I started earning money actually. I did my first commercial when I was 10.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that was my actually the very first type of work that I did is I was in a fashion show, I think when I was 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
So that was my first time to hold the check.
You've been earning since 8.
Yes. And I did my first commercial at 10, but I don't remember what the money was like. I remember when I was 13 there, that was the first commercial I did wherein my mom put the money that I earned in my BPI bank account. Yeah, and then so since the age of 15 actually. 15 was when I started handling my own money in my bank account and I didn't ask for an allowance anymore. And then by 19, a year after I entered show business, I was the breadwinner already. Yeah, I supported my family. At the time, it was like an experience I didn't think much about. It was more like something that I have to do for life. But 10 years after, that's when I realized, shucks, that was pretty traumatizing. To have witnessed your family lose everything. But it really molded me into the person that I am, really. Because when we lost our house when I was 17 years old, it was the house that I grew up in. I told myself when I start earning money, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a property in my name that nobody can take away from me. So when I was 20, I bought my first car. When I was 21, I bought my first property.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at a very young age, I had very little money. I probably had 400,000 in my bank account, which was all my savings. And my down payment was 400,000 or something like that. So I had nothing left in my bank account. I was like, kaya ko to. I'm going to make it work. Everything I earn is going to go to this property. And then luckily, a few years after that, I bought my second property, which was something that I actually got it for my grandmother when she retired. And then she was only able to live in it for 6 months. And then she passed away. So that was a rental property. So basically all throughout my 20s, it was just about making these mortgage payments.
Oh, wow.
That was my life. And I didn't travel outside the country from the age of 20 to 25.
Oh, wow.
I didn't leave. There was even a time I didn't enter the mall for 6 months. I would borrow stuff from friends for work because I was like, I can't afford to shop. So
that's crazy, no? Parang I guess people probably didn't know that about your journey in showbiz because people would think it's glamorous and that, your earnings would be for partying and shopping and buying designer stuff. So all throughout this time, you were supporting your family and making sure that you would meet your mortgage payments. So from that point in your life, what were your best and worst money decisions when you were in your 20s?
Well, my best money decisions obviously were investing in property when the property market was really low. Compared to the prices now, it was dirt cheap to buy back then. Even if I wasn't earning a lot, in a sense, I was able to park my money in an investment that grew year after year after year. And also, having these legal obligations to pay something kept me in line. I was also going to school at the same time. So I was finishing my degree. I finished at 25, very late, but at the same time, because I was in school, I had no time to play around. Like, I was all business and no fun. Actually, I was like, work, school, work, school. And then when I was 25, when I graduated, I went to Paris with my friends. I was in the States and in Canada for 7 weeks by myself. I was single, so I was just like enjoying life, and it really paid off. And then I would go home to a house that was in my name that nobody could take away from me. So yeah, that I guess being a homeowner at a young age also made me very conscious of the things that I buy. So not just saving money to pay for bills, but also dissecting every thing that I had to do inside my household, whether it was to clean my house, furniture, everything. I guess like an overall awareness into mindful living.
Yeah.
Let's say if you live on your own and you have to make your own choices at such a young age, that's when you really get to mold your own opinions that are not influenced by your parents or your friends, because I was really the only homeowner. So parang my friends would ask me, what do I do? What do I choose? So I was like, in my experience, these are my options. And I chose this because it's more sustainable. It's better for the environment. And yeah, so that all went hand in hand.
I think that's nice with what you said, that when you're legally bound to something like a mortgage or like an investment that you have to pay, it's like even though hindi mo alam saan manggagaling yung next paycheck or something, it's like you're gonna hustle and make sure that you meet it. And I think that's like a scary type of pressure for some, but it's something that would really move you, and I can really relate to that. Like, I have no choice. I have to pay for it. I have to work. I have to find something to do.
And my parents can't support me. I can't ask them for money if I make a mistake. It's like I have to be financially fit in case my parents need something. So where there was that added responsibility as well.
So you mentioned that we segued into becoming more mindful with how you spend your money and everything. So did your approach of like mindful living stem from living independently when you were younger, that you were just more conscious of how you spend and how you did things? So did it start from there, or did it happen like later on in your adult life?
I think I always had it in me to be very conscious of the environment and the things that I purchased, because I grew up by the beach. So when you grow up in nature, you're more attached to it. You're more inclined to protect it. And yeah, I like traveling, of course. So I'm exposed to how people live in the US and Canada as well, where there are more options to live more sustainably. But I think the huge change came, I think I would like to say around 3 or 4 years ago, when I was looking for something to do outside of showbiz already. So I wanted something more stable, and I wanted to invest in my own ideas, not invest in businesses of other people that I have no control over, because I lost most of my money and everything I've invested in before. I've made a lot of bad investments, and I just wanted to do something that's good for people and good for the planet. So it's like, no matter what happens, the mission and the heart behind it has a good intention. So like, it's a good passion project. But I think, I think before we get into that part, I think what a lot of people would like to know actually is more of like the lifestyle of being money conscious, like how I did it in my 20s, like what my spending habits are. Because I think people who are trying to learn about personal finance want to understand, like, how does one get by in life in their 20s being financially sound, right? Like how do you save money? How do you live? So for me, what worked for me is I had multiple bank accounts, one that I don't touch, and then one that I use for expenses. And one practice that I really hold dearly until this day: every time I owe money, whether it's to the bank for the mortgage or my credit card, I always pay it before the due date in full. I've never been late for any payment.
So good.
Because that was that was an experience I had gone through with my parents. So I guess the trauma from that made me hyper aware of paying for things on their due date and spending below my means. So that's one more thing. Just because I'm an actress, it doesn't mean that I felt the need to have the latest things and keep up. I guess I'm not very social in that sense. Hindi ako yung nakikibagay sa mga uso, ganyan. I just kind of like, I march to the beat of my own drum. Yeah, so...
I think among the people that I know, especially like coming from your industry, I think you're one of the most talaga that I could say is really, as you said, you beat to your own, tama ba? You
march the beat of my own drum.
Yeah, and you're not like conscious about having the latest things or, like portraying a certain image on social media. It's just, this is me and this is what I do. And I really see that about you. Yeah. Especially now, like we're going through a pandemic. It's like
you realize what you're wearing.
Yeah, you realize all your bags and shoes that are designer, like wala, they're just in the cabinet. It's useless.
I sold mine off years ago, actually. It's like
I remember
went through this stage. Yeah, parang mga 4 or 5 years ago, like I was appalled that I had bags that costed like 50,000 pesos. Like, what was I thinking? And I barely use them because I'm like, they're so expensive. I don't want to use them.
Yeah.
So I sold like 90% of them. I only kept like maybe 2 or 3 that were beautiful and special and reminded me of a time in my life when I was so carefree. But otherwise, like I repeat the same clothes every week. I use the same shoes. I barely have things, actually. I'm not into material things. I think it's also flicking that switch in your brain that your value as a person is not hinged on what you own. So that makes you naturally spend less, and also like spot the things, do research for the things that you really need, and make an informed choice before you buy them. So it's like, it's not really so much about the price. Parang the price, it comes secondary, but how much do I need it? How often will I use it? How long will it last? So will you buy a $10 t-shirt or a $100 one? The $10 one, like you're bound to not like it maybe in about a year. Maybe the fabric will stretch out, but the other one, you'll possibly use it like for 20 years, right?
Exactly.
Then you'll go for the other one. So you'll save up to buy that one. You won't buy like 10 cheap shirts in 6 months. You'll buy like one perfect t-shirt that year.
Exactly. And I think now I realize I'm just repeating like the same 10 things, especially I'm just home all day. Just that the same 10 things lang pala. And I'm like, wow, I can live like that.
The wardrobe is the key to always having something to wear. When you open your closet, and dami mong damit, I have nothing to wear. No, then you just have like your favorite things there. That's all you need.
Exactly. So since you've been talking about this and giving us some tips, I mean, can you tell us more about your new venture, Made Mindful?
So Made Mindful, currently right now, it's just a lifestyle guide on Instagram. It's mademindful.ph, but it's an idea that I started developing in 2018, and it was born out of my own need for products that I trust and that last and that aren't trying to cheat you, that are transparent, that are sustainably packaged, that don't use plastic, that have formulas that are kind to the environment and are healthy for your skin. Because I struggled with my own skin issues. I went through a year of something called perioral dermatitis. It's like an inflammation around your mouth and your nose that's really stingy. So apart from that, there's eczema, there's rosacea, there's all types of contact dermatitis that are caused by products that we use, whether it's laundry powder, perfume, makeup. So being an actress and going through that on my face, it was really a concern, because there were days when like we had to stop taping because my flare-ups would be so bad. And we would just basically be on the set and I'm like resting my skin. I'm like, my skin is so painful. Ganon, like for 1 year. So that opened my eyes to, and eto pala, I did a patch test on my back to find out what I was allergic to. So the chemicals that I was allergic to are things that people are commonly allergic to, especially babies, you know, the ones that have like rashes here. It's caused by the detergent and the soap and the perfumes and the lotions that you're putting on them. And what dermatologists do sometimes, they give you a cream to address the symptoms, but not the root cause. So addressing the root cause of that is choosing formulations that don't cause that. So that was the birth of the idea. If I'm going to spend my time on something at 32 years old or 31, it has to be something substantial where my time is most valued. And it's not in front of the camera talking about fashion. It's like coming up with a business idea that's going to disrupt the way corporations are doing things in the Philippines. And, you know, they're not conscious of the waste they create. It's like they're creating more problems than solving them. And that's made mindful. So it's basically things that are made mindfully, from the formulations to the packaging to the way that it gets to you. It's as conscious and as kind to the environment as possible, as mindful as it could possibly be. What they are, the first product is a multi-purpose something. But that everything is going to be only the essentials. So if you could have just a few things in your home that you need for a lot of things, Made Mindful will give it to you in the prettiest, eco-friendly packaging possible.
When can we expect this? In the next few months? This year? So
this year
can watch out. Okay, so guys, watch out.
Very soon, like in the next couple of weeks. I'm just finishing the website right now.
Parang that's how I feel also about Simply Finance. It's really like, it's my baby, and it's just doesn't feel like work sometimes because you super believe in it, and it's like, it's just fun. And parang I like what you've been, I think what resonated or what kept repeating during our conversation was that do what you actually, you know, what you believe in, and like what you're passionate about. Because let's say that that hosting gig or that fashion thing that you were talking about, like for sure it would pay you well, but you decided not to do it because it just didn't mean anything to you. Yeah, we got so much, but I guess my one last thing is, what's your advice to our viewers who want to start approaching life more mindfully? Like, what are like the easiest things to do right now, or maybe to reflect on to start getting on that mindful journey?
The first thing that came to mind, actually, since we live most of our lives in front of a screen right now, is to detox your social media and your email inbox.
To do that.
Of like accounts and subscriptions that tempt you to live unmindfully, so that make you spend unconsciously. So unfollow all of those accounts that don't make you feel good about yourself, and only follow accounts that inspire the kind of lifestyle that you want. So if you're looking to transition to being mindful about the products that you use on your skin, the things that you say, the way that you think, meditation and yoga also is like a huge part of that lifestyle. Is just being able to sit and be introspective. Follow accounts like that. And then the next thing to do, I would say, is purge your entire house. So purge your closet of things that you don't love and that you won't use next month. Purge your kitchen, sort through all your drawers. Basically have a full account of everything that you own. So you know what you love, you know who you are. And then if you need to add anything new, it's just like one or two things, you know, and you know exactly where they are. So I think being mindful in your home first of what you own and what you have is a good place to start. And then when you have to start buying things again, for example, you know, you want to build a wardrobe, choose things that are made of either like hemp, linen, cotton, tencel, natural materials. And then in your kitchen as well, buy things that are natural. Yeah, and also filter out the people that you associate yourself with. Surround yourself with people who have ideas and lifestyles that you admire and want to emulate.
Yeah, I always tell my clients that also, even with their money, like surround yourself with people that are handling their money well, that have a good approach to it, because the same with what you said, it really affects how you do it. So yeah, thank you so much, Bianca.
Thanks, Marielle.
So much. Can you tell our viewers?
The time wasn't enough.
Can you tell Can you tell our viewers how they could find you and where to find more information about Made Mindful?
So you can follow Made Mindful now on Instagram and on Facebook. It's mademindful.ph. And then you can now sign up for our newsletter on www.mademindful.ph. So you'll get updates there as soon as you launch. And I'm preparing a mindful living workbook. It's a 12-week workbook that's a very easy read that has journal prompts, recipes, lifestyle tips. It's basically like a very easy guide to follow from step 1 to step 12 for you to be your best self. It's geared towards improving your mental, physical, emotional, financial, everything health. And I've invited Marielle actually to write the week on mindful money with me.
Yeah.
So I want to make it like
out for that.
she said type of thing, because I'm no expert in it. I mean, you're the one who's like the personal finance expert, and I think it would be nice for people to read the opinion of two different people and not just mine. So yeah, from sleep to food to fitness to money to wardrobe to products, all the information is in this 12-week workbook that I've been writing for the past 2 months.
Well, there you have it, guys. So if you wanna start living more mindfully and really just get on it, follow Bianca's Made Mindful PH account and watch out for her workbook. And I'll be contributing at some point as well. And yeah, I just hope that this episode opens up your mind about this approach to living. And also, one of my favorite things that she said was really it's really delayed gratification, because I really see it a lot now that a lot of younger people, want to enjoy a lot now and then not really prepare for the future. But she did it the other way around. Like during her 20s, she invested, bought properties, and it's now she's just reaping the benefits, and now she can focus on what she really wants to do. And I think that's really admirable and something to remind the younger viewers out there. So as usual, you can follow me at @simplyfinanceph, or you can book a free discovery call at @simplyfinanceph.com. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.